Hello. I hope I'm doing this
Hi,
right. Hi, Upkar. How are you? Hello.
doing well, thank
Hello,
you.
everyone in Twitch area. And once again, I have done it. I have lost the chat, so I have no control. I have no visibility into what people are saying. So hopefully I can get that. Oh, yeah. So we have some people watching. Welcome, welcome. My name is Joyce. I'm a developer advocate at Postman here in San Francisco on the west side of the peninsula. Upkar, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, yeah. My name is Upkar. Hi, everyone. I am a developer advocate at IBM. I also live in the Bay Area.
And you recently moved, right?
I moved out of the city, yes. I moved down to San Mateo.
I can
So
spy
interesting.
you have way more square footage than I do, and you have this
Yeah.
beautiful mansion that you're living in now.
That's the apartments down here look like this. So yes, it was a very good and welcome change for me from moving out of my tiny studio to a one bedroom. I'm enjoying it. Thank
It's
you.
basically a mansion. And I've known you for a little bit. Oh, hi, Chris Dezo. Hi, Hannah Neal. Peninsula dweller. Yes, our very own Chris used to live in the peninsula. Upgar, I've known you for quite a while now, but only met you once in person, face to face, rather.
It was a random conference where we ran into each other. I
And one
remember.
thing about you is that you're not to say anything about your appearance right now, but like you're much taller than you appear through your screen.
Isn't that funny? I've had that. I've had people say that before. I don't know why though. Like I guess cameras like streaming and cameras don't really say anything about height, right? Like you could be 6'5" for all I can tell.
I'm actually deceptively shorter, so people think I'm like tall for some reason, and I'm very short in real life. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over to. We always start streams with this special section that's in case you missed it. So I'm gonna go and do you sing, Upgar?
I do not know. I mean
No.
no.
Okay. All right. So we're
God
gonna
no.
transition to a section that I like to call "In Case You Missed It." Dun 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 dun. So hopefully you see my screen up here. It sounds like there might be a little bit of lag from your video, Upgar, but I can hear you just fine. So works on my machine. So there's only one thing that I have for in case you missed it this week. We usually have like a ton of feature updates, but we announced this Postman Galaxy. So this is our user conference. We announced a save the date for it. I'll just click through. So yes, Postman Galaxy has been announced, and Upgar, I like your T-shirt. What is that?
Oh yeah, this is what I got last year at the conference, Postman conference, which was amazing. I was one of the speakers. I got to meet a lot of cool people. It's really one of the better conferences organized that I've been to lately. So it was a lot of fun. Yeah, thank you. I like this
Yeah,
t-shirt.
and I don't think I have that T-shirt even. I have one that's similar from the first year, but not that one. So this is the only thing we have for in case you missed it. So let's go ahead. We actually have a lot to get through today. I think during last year's user conference, you talked about serverless. It sounds like you work with a bunch of different IBM features or tools. What are we going to do today?
So, give me one second. Okay, so today I thought we'll look at something called Node-RED, and I think you mentioned that in your title for the Twitch stream as well. You say low code, and so this product, it's a very fun product to work with. It's a very fun solution. I usually bring it up, like I mentioned it at hackathons, because normally what happens is there's people from all sorts of backgrounds and all sorts of experiences in hackathons, and I hate to see people just I hate to see the hardcore coders just go at it, and then everybody else is just sitting around thinking what to do. So I hate when that happens, and so I want everybody to obviously bring. I know everybody can bring in value uh, and do their part. So with this Node-RED, what I suggest to teams is that even if you're not a developer, you can use this solution. It's completely open source. You can use it to build parts of the solution that at the end can come together and for their final project. So I thought we'll go over, we'll look at Node-RED. I know you haven't played with it a lot, so I want to see your experience with Node-RED.
Great. I've actually heard a lot about Node-RED. I think I've come across some people just kind of tinkering with it, and it's a graphical user interface, a lot of drag and drop. And it's possible to do like some pretty hardcore codey things, but it's also possible to not do any code, correct?
It's very extensible. So correct. What you get is a canvas, right? So you get a canvas, you're the artist, and then you start dropping nodes onto this canvas and you start creating pipelines. That is your solution at the end. And there's something called flows, which are little tabs on the canvas. So you can work on different flows. Flows can talk to each other. It's a lot of fun. The other thing with Node-RED, I use it a lot in my developer advocacy job when I do webinars. It's a great teaching tool because it's very visual. So people who like to learn that way, it's a great tool for that. So yeah.
Okay, let's. So I've done this before where I learn a new tool, and even if it's made for like users and it's supposed to be very like easy to follow, I'm like the worst UX person's nightmare because I cannot find things and things aren't super intuitive. So everyone, please bear with me. If anybody has experience working with Node-RED, feel free to chime in or give us ideas on like things that we could do with it. I have an idea of what I want to do, but like the world's our oyster today. So I'm going to switch us to my screen again. So hopefully, once again, you see, I'm going to go ahead and close this. And Upkar, you got me. I created an IBM Cloud account. Did I need to do that for this stream?
Well, if we are planning to, so what we were planning to do was, and also, like Joyce said, if you want us to work on something else, you're more than welcome to suggest something in the chat. But what I thought we would do today is look at a service on IBM Cloud called Tone Analyzer, and basically what it does is you send it a message, and it'll come back with different kinds of sentiments that things are in that message. So like joy, anger,
Joyce?
disgust, happy. Yeah. Joyce, yes. So all of that, right? So I thought we'll look at that. I see you do have an account on IBM Cloud, and you're already logged in.
So, and Kevin Swiber is saying I can control my internet connected light with Node-RED into an IoT platform.
Awesome.
Interesting. And Arlemy is just helpful by giving us an emote with a wrench icon. Thanks, Arlemy. Good help. Good help there. Yes, so I do have a light here that we could turn on and off. It is open to the interwebs, so we could do that. Tone Analyzer sounds cool. So besides you being much taller than you appear on camera, you're also much nicer than you appear on camera. And I don't mean that in a defense, like
wow. Okay.
I don't mean to be offensive, but I feel like sometimes people take me the wrong way and maybe find me a little abrasive. So I would like to analyze my tone and say, is it positive or negative sentiment? And maybe I can have this listening on. Okay, so yes, sorry, that was offensive. That didn't come out the way I wanted that to come out.
I'll see you all later. Bye, Joyce.
I would love to have the Tone Analyzer kind of listening to maybe one of our team meetings or something like that, and just give us a score on. Can Tone Analyzer do that?
Yeah, and I was thinking you can even hook it up to your lights. Every time somebody says something rude, the light on their laptop goes off. And maybe it's a thing. So actually, what was I gonna say? I'm reading the chat at the same time, and thank you for your support. And I think I've got more people on my side, Joyce, than you do.
Everyone's turned against me.
Tread very carefully. There's a question about the stream. I don't know if you want to take that.
Chris Duzzo says, can we have it listen to this stream? I think Chris Duzzo is saying that I might be being positive or negative, but that's super meta. Can we create a tone analyzer that then takes in, how do we give it input?
Okay, so these are really good questions, and I think once we dive into the services, we can talk about the details there. I did put in, if anybody wants to follow along, I did put in a link to sign up for the cloud account like Joyce has done. But do you want to then get started then, Joyce?
So all I did was sign up for an account. I'm logged in. I didn't have to put in a credit card. So is most of this like free to try?
It is. It is. So a lot of services. First of all, there are a lot of services on IBM Cloud. If you go to the catalog, we can quickly show folks what's in there. I sound a lot better, a lot nicer than I'm in
That
person.
did not come out right. I need to reformulate that. Apologies. Rescinded. Okay. So what are we looking for?
All right. So if you go to services on the left, and you go down and click on that AI machine learning, because that's what we're sort of, so on the left, there's a little filter. And if you go down and click on that.
This is AI?
So yeah, there's a lot of, this is sort of AI, like, right? So AI is kind of vague depending on how you define it. But a lot of these machine learning and AI services these services fit that category, right? So we have something called Watson Assistant, that's to do chatbots and to build conversations that you can then use. You can then host your conversations on different platforms like Google Home, Alexa, or on the web. So there's a bunch of services here. Watson Studio is a really good one. That's like all if you want to build your own custom TensorFlow models, deep learning models, or machine learning models, and host them on IBM Cloud, you would use something like Watson Studio. Or like I know a lot of data scientists love to use Jupyter notebooks in our studio. So those are also hosted in Watson Studio. So the one we're looking at today, if you go down to and look for Tone Analyzer,
this one?
There we go. So that's the one we'll look at today. You see all of these services are tagged with like this little, there was a little tag at the bottom. That's fine. That's fine. There's a little tag in most of them that say light free.
Okay.
Right, you see, so most of these services actually have what we call a light tier, which basically means you're allowed to use it forever, but there's an upper cap per month on how much you can use.
Okay, so it's like a small project rate limit.
Yes, and it resets every month. So at the end of the month, if you go over, IBM will send you a polite email saying, "Hey, you're almost about to go over," and then lock you down. And then you either pay up or you wait for the month to end, and it resets so you can start using it again after. Yeah. All right, so let's go to Tone Analyzer, and it's as you can see, there's different plans. We'll stick to the light, obviously, and as Joyce said, she hasn't entered a credit card, so they're not going to charge for anything. Now, of course, it's cloud, so part of that is being able to provide services all over the world. So if you look at the regions, if you pop that down, you see you're in Dallas, but if you click on the drop down for select a region, you'll see the different regions, right? So it's you depending on where you are, you check the region closest to you. Most of the services are provided in all the regions. And then if you go down, that's what I meant by, it's letting you do 2,500 API calls per month. So now what does that mean, right? So what is an API call? Does that mean training? Does that mean actually predicting? What does that mean? That depends on service to service. But for us, for today, this is good enough. And you can see like the other thing is if you don't use it for 30 days, they'll delete the account. Or they'll delete the service, not the account. And you can come back and create it again. So that's pretty much it. Like if you want to change the name at the bottom, you can. If not, we'll click on create to actually create the service. I like to rename my services because I'll have a bunch of them and obviously get confused later. And that's it. You are in the default resource group and you can create a service from here. But before you do that, can you open the API docs on another page? So you see on top, there's docs and API docs. So let's open that, and let's also open the docs because so we can look at it.
Drag this to the left side.
All right, cool.
So, okay, yeah.
All right, and then you go back and create the service.
Okay.
And then while that's creating, let's go back to the docs.
Okay.
All right, so this is the documentation for the service. This is kind of good overview. It'll have some samples on how you can use the service, some demos and things like that. Any upcoming changes, breaking changes, all of those things are listed here. For us, I think maybe Tone Analyzer API is a better document to look at today, given the time we have. So if you go to the API, you'll see. So there's curl is one way to consume the service, but obviously there are other ways as well. So there's SDKs in different languages, right? So today we are using Node-RED, and we'll talk about Node-RED a little bit more, but so we'll most likely end up using JavaScript. That's what Node-RED primarily lets you
Is
code
Node-RED related to
from.
Node.js?
Yeah, that's a good question. So Node-RED is actually an Express.js application. So it certainly runs on Node.js right now. And like I said, it's an Express.js app. You'll see to use different libraries in Node-RED, you basically just install npm install them. So all of the different nodes we'll see in Node-RED are basically code that's sitting in the npm repository, and you can install them. So it's very fluid. I like it. So once we get to that, we'll talk about that.
All right. So I think I've already I didn't npm install IBM Watson, but I think I npm installed Node-RED already.
Okay, awesome. That's great. So let's finish talking about this. So if you go down to, there's a service endpoint on the left-hand side, right? So if you go there, and oh, not that one. Oh, sorry. There's a method analyze general tone at the bottom. On the left side, sorry. There's a methods section. Yeah. So if you go there, yes. So it's analyze general tone. Then we can look at go down. Yeah, let's go down, and you can see now. You can see what kind of, because you asked me, what can you send it? What input does it need? And so here you can see what kind of content you can send it. Basically, it requires text. So you send it some sort of text, and it'll come back with. You can tell it to give you all the sentiments back, or you can tell it to give you certain kinds of sentiments that need to come back, right? So in this case, you can pass in a piece of text, and it'll come back with, if you look on the right, this is generally an example. So you see the text team. I know the times are tough. Product sales have been, oh my God, it's like enterprising.
So
But yeah, if you send it that
Marcel
text,
says that they used to use Node-RED a lot about 4 years ago. So it sounds like this has been around for a while. And Turk is pointing out that this tone analyzer documentation looks like Postman's documentation.
Well, that's a good thing.
Okay, so this is the type of string that we can feed into the tone analyzer API. And where does it say the output?
So if you go down, there should be an example of what the output might look like from this. So go down a little bit more. So that's the example. So success example versus if something went wrong. So in this case, it's saying it's very analytical, but there's also a touch of sadness. And I'm guessing that's the sales going down part.
Sadness. Okay.
So not only will it, so that's the document score, right? So it's giving score on the whole document, and then it's going to break down sentence by sentence. So as you can see here,
that's funny.
We have a competitive product is analytical. So like all machine learning solutions or APIs, you just don't look at the answer that came back. You look at that in terms of the score, right? So, and then you can put a threshold as to how you want to use that score. So, analytical of 0.5 versus sadness of 0.7 in the first sentence, right? So depending on what you're using this for, depending on your use case, that part, right? So that's sort of the probability, the confidence score that it came back with. So it's pretty sure there's sadness. It's less sure that it's analytical, right? So
Upkar, do you mind posting a link once more to the whatever cloud IBM thing? One of my colleagues wants to follow along, and this is how we juice our numbers, Upkar. Yeah. Somebody else points out that this is IBM stands for International Machine Business.
Machine.
Marcel used to work for IBM. I didn't know that.
I used to work for IBM, an ex-IBMer.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Marcel. Good to see you.
And it's not really a secret because I make fun of him for it, but like Arlemy also used to work at IBM. And I didn't mean like there's anything funny about IBM, but I'm like, ha ha ha, big company, going to small company. I need to stop talking. All right, so tone analyzer.
No, I actually never got to work with him, with Arlemy, but I wish I did. He seems amazing.
Yeah, he
in the future.
All right.
All right. So Okay, cool. So we kind of understand the service, right? We understand there's an endpoint. We'll send data to it. It'll come back with some sort of sentiment. And most of the services work like this on the cloud, right? You have some way to authenticate. You get an API key, and then you make your call using Postman, and you get a result back, and you're happy. So let's look at Node-RED now. Can you go to let's open the Node-RED page, and we can tell folks how to. So if anybody is following, if you have any questions on creating the service, or if you get lost on IBM Cloud, let us know.
Here, I'll drop a link to this in the chat. Is this the right one?
Awesome. Okay, that is the right one. Yeah. So that is the low-code programming for event-driven applications. Wow. So like you said, the low-code bit. I feel like there's so many low-code solutions coming up, right? It's in some ways, it's the future.
People think that Postman's low code too because it's a graphical user interface and you can like just push buttons. Oh, so it looks like I feel like I logged in already, so I kind of know what it looks like, but it's just basically drag and drop nodes.
Yeah, drag and drop nodes and connect them, and data flows from one node to the other. And you have different kinds of nodes, and that's what I was saying. There's a very big open source community. People are creating nodes, putting it up on this repository, and then you can go and download the nodes. And it's really easy to do. We'll actually install one of the nodes that we need for today.
Okay.
All right, so if you go to the installation page, so we can tell people how to install it. Open source, purple heart, purple heart, purple heart. Yes,
where's the installation?
Absolutely.
Get started, maybe?
Yeah, get started. We'll have it. There you go. So this is the other cool thing, right? Like you can run it different ways. You can run it locally, which I think what you have done. You can install it as an npm package. So if you go npm install -g globally, Node-RED, it'll install it locally. You can also install it as if you go up a little bit, yeah, as in a Docker image, right? So you can install it in a Docker image. That's the second option. That also gives you a way to install it on any cloud, right? Docker being Docker, it'll run on most clouds. The second part is very interesting to me. So on a device with Raspberry Pi, that's one of the things I did in the beginning. So it's really so much fun to use Node-RED on a Raspberry Pi and create a server of some sort or other things that you can do. Node-RED, it doesn't need a lot of memory to work with. And so something like Raspberry Pi, where if you can imagine, if you're working with IoT devices, Node-RED is really amazing to get started very quickly.
That's what my light is running on, a server on my Raspberry Pi.
Very nice. So how is that something you coded yourself, or does it come with some sort of server pre-installed? I'm wondering.
I had to, in this case, I was running a single node Kubernetes cluster, but I would love to try this with the Node-RED on there. Yeah.
I've used it before, and it's so anyways, once we get into Node-RED, you'll see why it's so easy to get started. Okay. All right, let's go back. So can we show real quickly the get started? And that should have the npm. So let's go to running locally. And so this is how you install it locally. And I think, Joyce, this is the way you did it too, right?
Yeah, so I'm on Windows, so I think I just did this. Without
npm install?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, it just says it right there without the sudo.
Awesome. So if you now, do you want to run it then? Let's go to your prompt and say Node-RED.
So I just do Node-RED?
Node-RED.
Okay. If anybody knows how to increase the font size of a Windows terminal prompt, Control+ isn't working, so please let me know, because I rely on this stream for my Windows shortcuts. So I'm going to go Node-RED. That's it?
That's it. That should work. So that basically is starting up the application on localhost, and at the end, it should give you the URL to actually, to actually see the app. So let's put that in a browser.
Okay, so this is localhost on port 1880.
On port 1880. And here we go. So by default, we haven't put in any like security password or anything like that, because people might be wondering, if you put this up on the internet, can anybody then come to your Node-RED flow and mess it up. And so there is a way to put in some security. So you have to put in a username and password in order to use this, right? So it's just locally they don't do it by default.
Yeah.
By the way, I didn't mention it, but this Node-RED thing is completely open source. It was developed by IBM. Nick O'Leary, who's the founder of Node-RED, still works at IBM, and he's an amazing person. Still a core contributor. But like I said before, people really love this project, and the contributions have been amazing.
Yeah, IBM has a bunch of open source stuff. I feel like I worked with one of your colleagues to do a loopback. I actually don't even remember what loopback is, but it's open source as well.
Yeah, I think that's when it lets you create Node.js sort of applications really fast. It's like scaffolding for Node.js based apps. I think that's what I remember. All right, so you see here there's a couple of things here, right? So you have a flow 1, and that's your first canvas that you can play with. And you can add more flows as well. There's a little plus sign. You can add more flows. You can rename your flow. So that's our canvas to begin with. On the left side, there's the palette with different kinds of nodes you can drag and drop onto this flow. Right, so there's a whole bunch. There's something called common utilities. There's functions. If you go down, scroll down a little bit. There's networking nodes. Yeah, or you can do that. Networking nodes.
Like
so
HTTPN?
Yeah, so that's what we will use today. And then if you go down, there's something called sequence, right? So that's to split and sort. And so these are the different, that's what I meant by low code, right? So these are the different things you do in programming. You do loops, you may do switch statements, you may do other things. And there are nodes built for all of those things here. So it's very visual.
So node refers to Node.js, the underlying whatever, express, blah, blah, blah. But also these are the nodes. Are these called nodes?
Okay. They are called nodes, yes. So you see on top, it says filter nodes.
Okay.
So you can, so it's so what we need for today then is we need to install this set of nodes that work with Watson Cloud or IBM Cloud, but specifically Watson services. So if you look on the right, there's that little menu right on top under your picture, right? Like on the right. Yeah.
Hamburger?
So if you hamburger menu, yes. And then if you open that, you can go to Manage Pellet. Manage Pellet will let you install new nodes, but also see what you have installed. So as you can see here, we have 3 things installed. So all of the nodes you see on the left are part of these 3 packages. And the package, I'll show you, we'll see real quickly. The package is just, like I said, it's an NPM repository. So if you click on that, so you can see what nodes were pre-built into this Node-RED package. Okay. And then you can also see, you can disable certain nodes, so they'll disappear from your palette on the left. Right. So if you go back to, let's go to install to see what's available. Okay, so you can see 2,800 modules available. So there's a lot of different modules, right? Yeah, Watson. So if you go to the second one, so by the way, this is again, like I said, it's all open source. Anybody can publish a module, right? So how do you make sure this is the one you want to use? So let's click on the little arrow on the second one, the Node-RED.
Node-RED, Node Watson.
So that would take Node-RED, Node Watson. That'll take you to another page. Perfect. So this is more information about Node-RED, Node Watson. And if you see on the left, it says view on NPM. So if you click on that, or sorry, on the right, I got my lefts and rights mixed. One? Yes, please. So you can see this is like any other NPM package. So, it's completely, I normally, when I'm installing NPM packages or when I'm installing, I look at, there's so many things you can look at here. You can look at you can weekly downloads. You can go to their GitHub repo, look at the issues, what people are saying, has it been actively worked on, and things like, normal things like that. Okay, so let's say we are happy with this. We want to install this in order to use the Tone Analyzer service. So we'll go back to, you can close this tab. And well, before you go back here, I want to show you something. So if you click on flows on top, which is already selected, but if you click on it again, this is the other way. So this is all of the nodes are sort of listed and documented here, but also people upload their flows, which is really cool. So if you click on see more for flows, like for recent flows, the one below, yeah. So here's, people have posted their flows, right? So actually look at that, there's Watson NLU. Somebody posted Watson NLU, which stands for Natural Language Understanding. It's another service on Watson. But if you click on that, so somebody created this beautiful flow and they're like, hey, I want to share this with the world, and they put it up here. Now, we'll do this later, but let's come back to this later on how to import this into our flows. But this is just, if people in the chat, if you create something nice and beautiful and you want to share it with the community, you can put it up
I
here.
have an
It's very
idea
cool.
for something, but I don't want to say it because somebody's going to steal my idea before I can publish it.
Ooh.
Because it just has to be something node-based, right? It's almost like this node-red directory is kind of like NPM for node-red modules.
Right, exactly, yeah. So this by itself doesn't make sense, but if we were to copy it and import it into, which we'll do later, because I'm sort of deviating from our main task today. We haven't even started.
Let's get started.
Yeah, let's go back. So let's go back to the Node-RED tab. So yeah, that one. And let's install that second thing. So if you click on install.
So we're installing that one we just looked at. We already looked at the node information.
And basically behind the scenes, it's doing an npm install, basically, in your package. So let's wait for that to finish. Generally doesn't, you can actually, what if, okay, it went away. So these are all the nodes that come with that package, right? So if you remember all the services we were looking at before under AI ML, a lot of those services have nodes inside this package. So let's close this. And if you go over to the left to your palette and scroll down, you will see a new section now.
At the end? Oh, IBM Watson.
Yeah. So that was just made for us, available for us, right? So
Language,
great. And if you go down a little bit more.
Natural language, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this is that NLU one you were talking about. Oh,
that the other person used.
Personality insights. Okay.
That's an interesting one. So it takes in like something like your Twitter data, and then it tells you what kind of personality you have.
So we could get like a politician or something and do some sort of immediate out of the box. Yeah. Okay. All
right. Go down, and so you see tone analyzer. That's the one we're going to use soon.
This one?
All right. Okay. That one. Yep. So let's go right back up and let's look. Let's drop some nodes in.
All the way to the top.
Yeah, it's getting real now. We're dropping some nodes.
What?
All right, so the inject node is actually very interesting. So inject node will inject things into your flow, right? So there's a lot, by the way, there's a lot of help provided. So let's drag and drop that onto your canvas.
Okay.
And it might snap to a certain grid. There's settings you can change to make it snap, not make it snap, remove the grids, all of that cool stuff. So I'm not sure if it's doing it right now, but so this is one of the very handy nodes. You can, if you double click or click on it, it opens properties for this node. Okay, so this is what you can send. By the way, this MSG object, the message object, that's what flows through your pipeline, through your nodes. So every object, when you're connecting things, message goes from the left to the right, essentially.
Okay.
And you can send in different things. So in this case, for example, we're saying send a timestamp. So message.payload equals timestamp. And now you can send in different things here, right? So you can send in string, number, Boolean, maybe a JSON object, some sort of expression is interesting. So that if you want to dynamically change what gets through, you can put in an expression, right? So let's click on done. And the other node that's very important to know here is the debug node. So if you drag that to the end and connect the two.
Oh, it's just like a diagramming tool.
Yeah. So what we have done essentially now, we're saying we're going to send a timestamp and we're going to show that in the debug node. That's all we've done so far. Now, how do you use this thing? There's a deploy button on the top right.
This one?
Yeah, and that's basically sort of like pushing to production, right? So that's all you have to do. There's nothing else you have to do. You click on the button itself. That's it. What you just did went live.
Where?
Right. So now you're live. So it's live, but nothing's happening because you haven't clicked on the timestamp thing. So let's click on, if you see on the right, there's the information, the I button, right? And then so go more to the right.
Oh, this I.
Okay. Yeah, and then there's the next one is, what's that book thing? That's help maybe. Yeah, and then one more. That's the debug. So that's where we'll have that open. This is where we can see all of the messages that are passing through our nodes.
Okay, so this is like the console.
This is like the console. It's good for debugging purposes. So now we are live, and you asked me where. So that's it. If you click on that button, we would have taken an action. We are saying send a timestamp, and click on it again, and you'll see the debug stuff on the right, right? So you're performing an action. Timestamp is being sent from node 1 to node 2.
Well, so what is this little output here?
That's the timestamp. That's the current time.
How do we format that?
So that's a really good question. So there's a couple of ways to do it. There might be a nice time node that we can use, right? I haven't looked at it, but there might be a time node. So you send the timestamp to the time node, and then time node sends it to the message.payload, and it might come out as like a nicer looking time.
Did you hear they're deprecating moment.js?
Oh, yeah. They are?
It's a big deal.
Oh.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I didn't know that. Okay, so the second thing we can do is, and we won't do this right now, but an example. If you move the message payload a little bit to the right, like a couple of blocks. Yeah, there you go. You can put in a function, like drag the function node.
This one?
Put it on the line.
Ooh.
Yeah. No, we missed it. Yeah. So what we just did, what we said, send all the timestamp information to my function node. And here, right now, it's just returning message as is, right? So in this case, what I could potentially do is use JavaScript, right, to format my message. So message.payload has that big time. So I can, at this point, let's not do this now because we'll go to the analyzer tone thing. But at this point, I can say message.payload equals and do the nice looking message, right?
Okay.
So in fact, like if you hear right now, if you say message.payload right above the message, sorry, right above in line 1. So yeah, in line 1, you say message.payload equals and some random string like hello world or Postman is awesome. Okay, hello Upkar. And then click on done, and then deploy again because our changes need to be live. And then click on the timestamp. So you see our time is no longer being passed through. We just changed that message. So that's all. It's fairly easy.
Okay.
And so I'm sure there is some time node you can put in there, and that'll do the nicely formatting things for you. But this is what I meant by extensibility, so you can actually have a function and do whatever you want.
So when we hit this deploy, when we make changes and this lights up and we hit deploy, it's still deploying to local host, correct? It's still running locally. Correct. So I couldn't send you anything to hit this button, right?
Correct. Okay. Not right now. Okay. So the way around that would be to create a Node-RED service / application on IBM Cloud. And we'll do it at the end.
Okay.
We'll do it at the end.
Okay.
All right. So let's quickly finish the tone analyzer part, and then you can. I really want to see the Postman bit, and then we can jump to other things. All right. So what do we want to do here? We want to create an endpoint of some sort that people can send messages to, and that endpoint will then send the message to our tone analyzer, get some result back, and send that back to the user, right? Okay.
So endpoint, open endpoint.
Right. So for that, if you look, the HTTP might be a good option, right? So that's like, yeah, creates an HTTP endpoint. Good. Let's drag that.
To where?
Anywhere on the canvas. We'll hook it up later.
Okay.
So by the way, we are done with the first 3 nodes. You can multi-select, like you can drag your thing, yeah, and then just hit delete.
What if I want to save it?
Yeah, you can. I mean,
okay, I'll just delete it. I'll delete it.
Right now.
Clean canvas.
Or we could have also done a new flow
that's right.
with the plus sign.
A new canvas. Okay.
So do that, like Control Z, like for if you want to save that for, and then delete the HTTP node, and then yeah, let's go to the new one. There you go.
Can I name this?
I believe you can. So if you click on the There you go.
This is going to be Tony Loke. Y'all are too young to know what Tony Loke means, but it's funny to me. Okay, Tony Loke.
All right. So yeah, let's drag that in, and then one thing I like to show, I like to do is like if you click on the eye on the right.
This one?
Yeah, this is where it'll tell you more information about the node. Ooh, maybe not. Maybe it's the help. Go to help.
This one?
Or a second one. Yes. Yeah. So if you go down, you can scroll down, right? So it's telling you what this node can ingest and what it can output. Now this node only has an output. It doesn't take in anything, right? People can send things to this endpoint we're just creating, but there's no official input of the node. But it outputs things. So if you go up, right? So it'll output all of these things to the next node, to whatever needs to see the output. All right, so double click on that HTTP node and we'll make our own endpoint.
Okay.
So now we pick a method, so you can pick get, post, whatever you want.
Get.
And yeah, so what do you want to call this one?
Listener? Outputter?
Sure.
I don't know. I'm confused.
Yeah, let's say list. Well, so this is the endpoint that your users will actually come to. So what do you want to call that, right? That's what I meant.
Input.
Okay, let's go input. Whatever you want. All right, so this is people will come to HTTP hostname /input.
Okay.
And then click on done. All right, and we'll go one step at a time. So if now if people come to your HTTP in node, we need to send back some sort of HTTP, right, to complete the request. That could be an error or a success message or whatever that might be. So if you see, there should be an HTTP out or response. Sorry, see the response right below. Yeah. So let's drag that next to it, and then connect the two. Perfect. So we just finished a complete cycle, right? So people will come to /input and we'll return something. Right now it's returning nothing. So let's go to HTTP, open the HTTP bit again. And let's, for fun, let's return a 200 status code.
Up here?
So which means all okay.
Do I have to format it a certain way?
No, so you see it says message.status code. So it'll take whatever message.status code contains. But right now we like there is no message.status code, so you can hard code it to 200.
Okay.
And then click on done. Great. So that's it. We just made an endpoint. So deploy this.
Deploy.
So we're live. We're good. We're live in the sense it's saved.
Okay.
And now you can like go to Postman, or you can open another browser tab.
Okay.
And if you go to, let's go to Postman. Why not?
Are we making a get to this endpoint?
That's right. To just the local host, so 1880 /input, because that's what we defined our endpoint.
Okay, so here's our, I don't know what's happening.
I think it's behind.
Is my thing frozen?
I see the mouse moving.
I can't get, well, this is weird.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, so I am now on, sorry, what was my thing?
So I think you copied it. You can paste it.
Oh my gosh, I did.
It's one.
Sorry,
yeah,
sorry,
there you go.
/input.
/.
Okay, so just make a get.
Just send a get.
200.
Yay, 200. So if you go back and change that to like 404 or something.
Gosh, my thing's not working
I don't know
for
how.
some reason.
Can you push this window up? Oh, there we go.
So
change the HTTP to 404 not found and deploy it again. So done, deploy, and go back to Postman and send.
404.
Not found, right? It still comes back as, is that still a green? Is that still an okay thing for Postman?
This is what literally came back.
But I thought like if 404 came back, Postman doesn't Postman show it as red or something, like something went bad? Like what if you say 500 came, like you send back 500?
We have to write a test for that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
if we like come here and we're like, I can't write anything from scratch. But if we're like, status code is 404 and we expect it to be 404,
Okay.
now we say, yep, it's 404. But if
Okay.
we
So
change this
test.
to 200, done, deploy. That's so fast. And then we just hit send again. So we're testing that it's 404. Now it's like,
Fail.
yeah. Okay.
Fail. Okay. And I see Chris is excited about snippets.
Snippets.
Which is awesome.
Okay.
Cool. All right, so yeah, so there we go. We created an endpoint in like a minute, right? So it didn't take us long. Now, of course, this you don't want to hard code the status. The status may change depending on what you're doing between your input and between your HTTP in and HTTP out. You will have a lot of logic in the middle there. But I like to start this way. Like I just want to make sure my nodes are working, and then I can put stuff inside.
So
all right, so
Postman is
yes.
able to hit my local host only because I'm on the same machine on the same local network. So you cannot hit my local host and hit /input until we deploy on, we're going to use IBM Cloud, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
So actually, let's do that. So now we understand what Node-RED is, and we know how to work with it. It's, as developers, I think we normally like to work locally, and then when it's time to go live, we'll push it somewhere, or when it's time to share with other people. So in order to do that, let's go to your first tab in the browser, which is the Watson service page. The first tab of the browser itself. Yeah. Okay. So can we open the catalog in a new tab, please?
Okay.
I don't want to lose this page because this page has some API information we need later.
Okay.
And then search for Node-RED or search for Node in the catalog.
Oh, up here? Wait, I am in
no,
the
this
catalog.
is good. So you see,
right here.
Yeah, so you see the Node-RED app. That's it. So this is where we are actually asking IBM Cloud to install Node-RED for us on the cloud itself, so we can then share this link with other people versus localhost.
Okay.
So click on getting or create. Go up to create, please.
Do I need to pay?
And then, no, this is also free.
Okay.
Yes. So if you change that app name to something. Take my money.
I sound like the cheapest bastard, but I don't want to have to get my credit card out and like enter stuff in when I don't even know what it is yet.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, go down. Let's see, everything else is the same, and then click on create. So this does a couple of things for you. So you remember how we're doing all these flows and we're putting in nodes? Those need to get saved somewhere, right? So when I come back next time, they're still there. So what Node-RED, you can do a couple of things. You can save it to a file, right? So every time Node-RED opens, it reads the file. Flows are basically JSON, so it's easy to store. What this is doing is it's creating you see Cloudint provisioning service credentials. So Cloudint is a NoSQL database, and that's our backup, that's our storage. So all of our flows and nodes and whatever we do gets stored into Cloudint. So it's creating that for us. Okay. So we'll let it go. We'll go back to localhost and keep developing.
So Cloudint is NoSQL database because what we're saving is not like my flows data, but rather my flow.
Your flows data.
It's not like.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, there's a scotch of delay with the audio, and Arlemy thinks that he's still getting commission for IBM sales. Actually, Upkar, if you want to drop your link, we have some more folks that joined. If you want to drop your IBM link.
Yeah, for sure.
Karthik, welcome. We are just getting started. We've written we haven't written any code. We've dragged and dropped and hit some buttons, and we have a live running. Instance on my local machine, but now we're going to try to get this live running up in the cloud on Cloudint. Yes.
So Cloudint is, like you said, it's storing all of your flows. So when you come back next time and open Node-RED, you see where you left, and you don't lose any data. The user data, of course, you have to write your own nodes, or you have to store that separately. This is just the flows information.
Okay.
All right. So before we go back to our local host. So what's happened so far is it's created an app for me, and it's created a Cloudint instance where my data will be, or my flows will be stored. And we have to now click on this deploy your app to actually deploy this application on IBM Cloud. So they've given us an application. Now we need to deploy it, and it's going to use something called IBM Toolchain, which is a way to do CI/CD. So there's a bunch of things happening here. So first thing is you need to create a new IBM Cloud API key, which will be used to as part of this toolchain to get this application from GitLab. So what's happening here is it's creating a repository for you, Joyce, in your account on GitLab, and it's creating a CI/CD pipeline. So every time you push to GitLab, the pipeline is kicked off. It'll recompile the app and then push it to production.
Okay. Should I go ahead and create an API key?
Yeah, you can uncheck that. So we just use it for this app and say okay.
Okay, so we're creating an API key for Take My Money, and it doesn't matter if people see it because we'll roll it after. Oh, there it is. I won't hover.
Yeah, they won't see it here. Okay. So we've created the API key, and if you go all the way down, you can click on next. This is where you can give it more memory or less. This is enough, and click on next. Okay, so also in the previous page, there was a takemymoney.mybluemix.net. So that's the host we'll use to hit on the internet, and then click on create. All right, so this takes a little bit of time. So this is us creating a Node-RED application on IBM Cloud. Okay, that's all we're doing. Let's go back to localhost and keep working on localhost.
Okay.
Yes. Perfect. So what we have done so far is we have created an endpoint that people can hit, or that, sorry, not everybody, but you can hit, and then return something back. And so what we need to do now is use that tone analyzer thing.
Okay.
So let's track the tone analyzer service anywhere on the canvas.
This one, V3?
That's the one. That's the one.
Okay.
Ooh. All right, oh, smiley face, sad face.
Okay.
So if you look at the, yeah, perfect. So you brought up the properties, and in order for this thing to work with our account, we need to provide it an API key, an endpoint, right? And we have to tell it the version date. Those are the three pieces of information that are important. Now, this is a little bit confusing, Joyce. So there's username, password, and an API key. Like, how do you know which ones to use? So IBM used to have a legacy system of, when I say legacy, it's just because it's a previous system of using username and passwords to do authentication. And then now we're doing an IAM managed sort of API key system where an API key is generated for every request, and that's how things work. So it's a little bit different system than username and password. I wish this was designed in a way so it told you either have to do username password or you have to do an API key. You don't need to do all three. So there's a little bit of a UX thing going on here. But that being said, it's open source. So when I get time, hopefully I can go and hopefully create or suggest something different than what's here.
Yeah.
But for us today, we need three pieces of information. We need the API key, we need the service endpoint, and we need the version date. Version date is easy. So if you do the drop down, there should be one already there. So yeah, you can use the version that'll give you multiple tones or only one. So dominant tone, it just means, let's say it's primarily sad or happy. That's the only thing that comes back. Multiple means like send everything back even though the confidence score is very low. And so let's go get our, yes, sorry.
Is sad the opposite of happy?
I don't know. What do people think? Is sad the opposite of happy?
Because like I feel like a lot of these AI models have like positive, negative, or I've seen sad, but like how do you tell that something's sad? Well, that's super philosophical. Okay, so we need three pieces. API key, which is our IBM API key. Service endpoint, is that the Bluemix one?
So no, these are both coming from the service. So let's go back to our first tab, right up on top. And if you go to service credentials, go up a little bit and go to service credentials. Now, this is where people will see the service key. We'll delete it later. Okay. So yeah, open that. And plus, you haven't given a credit card. So worst case, if somebody,
my key. It's okay.
Somebody does use this, they'll basically hit your monthly goal. So no problems. All right, so put this in the Node-RED. So let's go put it there. And then service endpoint was the second thing on that page. So go back. The URL at the end, that's the service endpoint.
Oh, it's, okay. Yep.
Still 993, yeah. So let's put this in Node-RED.
Okay.
Perfect. So I think that's all that's needed, and click on done. Now we need to.
Not now.
How many
I don't know.
password things popped up there?
Okay.
Okay. So we need to change our flow a little bit, right? We need to insert this somewhere in between our in and out. So we can do that. So if we were to deploy this right now, it won't work, and we'll figure. Yeah, you can. I've seen like trees. I've seen like forests of these nodes like going all different ways. It's pretty cool.
This is gonna bug somebody so bad. Okay. Okay. What next?
Okay, so if you click on the tone analyzer v3, just single click and go look at the docs. So okay, so to the text to analyze should be passed in as message.payload. You see that?
Okay.
So whatever is coming in from our request needs to be put into message.payload. And one way to do that would be to just like, remember how we did the function thing in the previous case? Mm-hmm. So we can drop a function.
Like here?
In between here. That's right. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. There's some other ways to do it, but let's start with this.
Hey, you Node-RED people on the stream, if you have ideas for how you want to structure it, let me know. Otherwise, we're just doing what Upkar wants to do.
Yeah, because you said like we won't write much code today, so I think there's a couple of other ways to do it where the node will do it for you. Like if you look on the left, let's look.
Arlemy wants us to use a switch.
Yeah, so we can use a switch.
Should I delete this?
Yeah, you can delete it. I mean, switch is where, like switch in programming is where you have multiple things and you want to choose a path based on what happened or what value comes in. You want to choose a different path. So we could possibly use that here, but change, that's even better. So let's see what change is. I haven't used change too much.
Arlemy is our resident AI ML person. So initially I was like, oh, Arlemy, you want to do this one? And he's like, nah, I know Node-RED already. I'm like, okay, well, you better help us then. Okay, so here's the change.
He is helping us. Right, so this is where we are setting message.payload to something, right? Right, that all change is doing is it's just setting a variable.
Okay.
So before we do this, can you cancel? I want to see something to cancel. So how do we send stuff in from Postman, and what does that show up in our message? I want to see that, right? So like, is it a query? Is it a parameter? Is it a body? Like, how is that request coming in? Based on that, we'll have to pluck it out of our request, okay. Right? So how I like to do it, Joyce, is like I put a lot of debug stuff, right? So if you go right on top, there's the debug node. Let's grab that debug node and put it up on the canvas, and let's attach. So no, put it, because remember, debug node doesn't have an output, so you can't really put it in the middle. Only things you can put in the middle are that have in and out, so it can connect the lines, right?
Oh, it doesn't even pass through. It's just a terminal. It's like a terminus.
It's a terminal, yeah. It's a terminus, yeah. So, but what we can do now is use the get input and connect it to debug just to see what's coming in. So, by the way, right now our stuff is broken. That's okay. And here, one more thing we want to do is instead of outputting message.payload, like open that again, please. Let's do the whole message body. It's a complete message object. Okay, and click on done, and let's deploy.
I always forget the deploy. It's so easy and fast. Okay.
And then let's go back to Postman and let's see. Let's put in something in the params. This is our text, right? So this is, I don't know what you want to call it, message or text or foobar. Good. And then send. I want to see how this shows up. So go back to this. By the way, if you go back to Postman, our request will never complete, right?
It was spinning before, yeah.
Yeah, because if you go back to the canvas, we disconnected our HTTP out. Or no, we did.
Oh,
Oh no, it's
it
there.
goes
It's
through.
there. Yeah. So it's actually it's going both. It's going to the debug node and it's going through Tone Analyzer. It's not working because Tone Analyzer needs message.payload to have certain thing. And right now, if you look at the message object on the right in the debug window, that's what came through, right? So payload right now, what it should be empty. Oh, okay. Payload has the foo bar.
Yeah.
But we just need the bar part, right? We don't need foo.
Okay.
Correct?
So that's
So that's
message.payload.
message.payload.foo.
Foo.
So let's do that. So let's put that function thing back in, or sorry, the change thing. Where's the change? It's right there.
This one?
Yeah. So let's drop that in the middle of input and tone analyzer. Yep. And then you open that. And here we want to say set message.payload to, and at the bottom,
Here?
right? This is where you say, yeah, set message.payload to message dot, yeah, message dot payload dot foo. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So we're just updating this. I don't understand what the change does. Whoa.
It's just setting a variable.
Oh.
So you can do different things, right? So if you click on the drop down, the set drop down on the there, you can do different things. You can we could have changed to click on change. Okay, that's interesting.
I think the way
It's
you
like
had it
was a little bit better. Yeah. Yeah, let's go to set. Okay, so but in this case, you have to keep in mind we're losing the original message, right? We're replacing the payload with payload.foo.
We're replacing this entire object with just this little bit here.
No, we're just replacing
the
message.payload. Yeah,
okay.
With the
So
and then
this is a bit confusing to me. Like, can we rename these so that they're a little bit more like what are we literally doing here?
Yeah, so in this one, you can maybe open it and name it to set or prepare for tone analyzer or prepare message for tone analyzer, right? That's what we're doing. We're making sure message is something tone analyzer can understand.
Okay.
Okay, so we have set the payload.message to what came in. That'll go to tone analyzer. And then let's put another debug, drag the debug one more time to the canvas. And let's take the output of the tone analyzer to that debug, because I want to see what comes back from tone analyzer. Perfect. And also in this case as well, I always like to do complete message, not just the payload, because then I don't miss anything.
Okay.
And let's deploy.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
It's kind of out of the way too. So there's actually a shortcut on the Mac. It's Command D. I don't know what the shortcut on Windows is. But you can deploy. Can we maybe get rid of the test too? Oh, wait, you're back here. So the other cool thing, Joyce, do you notice, like when you hover over that, it puts the node in orange that the message came.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see exactly where it's coming from.
So if I'm like scrolling and I'm like, where is this when it's orange? So this is the tone analyzer output.
Correct. So bar doesn't make sense, right? So it probably came back with no sentiments or something. Click on response. Object tone, go down. It came back. Yeah. Go down. Yeah. Open that up. The object, the tone objects.
Anger.
It's all 0, right? Like that's what I'm saying. You have to see the score.
Oh.
It's 0 for A. So it probably has 0 for everything because bar by itself doesn't tell it much.
Disgust. Okay, so this is low confidence, 0 confidence of any of these sentiments.
Yeah, and remember when we said if you double click on the tone analyzer itself, remember we said give me multiple tones?
Yes.
So if you change that to dominant tone, it won't show you everything. It'll just show the dominant one. And in this case, it's all 0. I don't know what it's going to do, but dominant tone will show the most dominant tone, not every tone.
I mean, I'm more personally interested in multiple tones, but what do you see people using?
It really depends on, I think multiple tones is better, and then I make a decision which one I want to use versus dominant. Yeah, for sure.
Stick with multiple for now.
Okay. Yeah, you can get out of there.
Oh, hi. We have a visitor from YouTube. I don't know how to read that. Abraham, hello. Welcome. Okay, so we have our workflow accepting input from /input. parsing it a little bit, sending it through Tone Analyzer, and we've just outputted it in multiple tones with zero confidence of those.
So you want to try something fun? Let's put like a bar, exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. I wonder if that'll make it sound angry or
Angry.
I don't know. I'm wondering.
Hey guys, in the chat, or people in the chat, give us a string to analyze, to tone analyze. Raising the bar.
Raising the bar.
Is this positive or negative though? So all of this I feel is quite subjective, but the whole point of like the cloud or any machine learning model is that you guys have like test data that you calibrate against, right? So this is just by volume.
Exactly.
Raising the bar might be like whatever. So I'm going to hit send.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then you have to look at the second one. Yep.
So
I think they're ordered by the most dominant. So if you just look at okay.
Okay, let's
so that's
see.
the tone.
Any predictions, Upkar? What do you think the main...
Raise the bar.
Raise
It
the
should
bar!
be raise the bar. Raise the bar. Positive, I feel.
It's like
joyous.
Joyous.
It's like I just finished a workout. I'm like, I raised the bar. No. Nobody says that. Anger.
So we know Arlemy
But
is angry.
it's very low. It's very low though.
Oh, it's not sorted. It's not sorted.
Oh, it's not. Okay. Got it. It's kind of all over the place. Okay.
Oh, joy?
See?
Joy
Yes.
is happier. Yeah.
Raise the bar.
Sadness is the most.
Oh, raise the bar.
Raise
You want me to
the bar. Wah,
Why
wah.
would I raise the bar? I want to go to the bar.
Arlemy's dominant tone is sadness. If anybody has other strings that you want us to actually, I think we're going to try to open this up so anyone can submit their strings, but please feel free to suggest strings to tone analyze.
Yes. So let's finish. Instead of sending this to message, let's send it back to the HTTP thing, right? Because we want Postman to get the results back as well. So if you see here, it's actually, go up. I want to see this message. So it's response.document_tone categories. This is all JSON. We can send back anything, right? Like we can send back the whole response, basically, like message.response. Hey, why isn't it going back? What does Postman do? What does it see? Like nothing comes back? Raising the bar. Is that the response of the body?
This is what was returned from our endpoint.
Oh, that's interesting.
Marcel,
larger
sentences.
Yeah, see, another good point. It's well. First thing is like Joyce, you were saying, like, so these are the default models, and so a lot of times, if you're not getting the result that you want, at least I know for IBM, they'll let you train it against your own data. So you get to use the base model, but then teach it your own domain, right? Which is kind of important. This is interesting. So let's go to the HTTP. Like, what are we doing in HTTP?
Hold on, I just want to see this tone, if it's like different for longer. Gosh, this is a lot of... Is there a way to expand all these at once?
No, but we can do something else.
Sort it. Oh gosh, we have to write code.
Sadness. Well, what did you write?
Anger is the most. Oh no, you're right. Sadness. Oh. Plank challenge.
Push-ups not really a plank challenge.
Okay, what did you want me to do?
So open the HTTP because I want to see what are we sending back. You're not sending back the right thing, obviously. I can hold for 3 minutes. That's pretty cool. What's your max, Joyce?
Marcel, you need to come by the Postman office one day when everything opens up because we do push-ups in the Postman office.
Really?
Yeah. All right.
All right, so what are we doing here? So can you actually click on the little book thing? I want to see.
What book thing?
The help. Excuse me.
Help. Hi, Madovic. Hi. Just getting started with Node-RED. Well, actually, we've been dragging and dropping quite a bit. My finger is tired. Okay, so we're looking at the book, the help.
the health section. And let's see here, what does it need? So sends response back to status code headers. Okay, this is telling you how you can do different things with the HTTP response. But if you go up, go up, go up, go up, go up, go up, go up. Okay, payload, the body of the response. Ha. So why is it not sending? Let's go back, please, to, I think we need to do another set. So what's happening is Tone Analyzer is coming back with a bunch of stuff. And we need to take that bunch of stuff and put it into message.payload so that my HTTP response understands what to send back.
Okay.
Right. So if you go to the debug again, So you see, this is what comes back from Tone Analyzer, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you go up a little bit, you see message.payload is the sentence itself that we sent in, and that's what's being sent to Postman. But we don't want to send that. We want to send the response.
The whole response.
Yeah. So to do that, so this is just.
Where did we do that?
Yes. Let's see your memory. That's okay. That's okay. Let's see your memory. See your short-term memory.
Oh no, please don't do that. I'm literally going to click on everything until I see it. Oh, was it this one? This is where we set it.
Yeah, so we need another of those.
For Tone Analyzer, and we set the payload to pass through to payload foo. So that's this bit.
Right, so that was to prepare our message for our Tone Analyzer service. Mm-hmm. Now we need to bring another one of these change things into the canvas. So let's go to our canvas. Yeah. Take that and put it between Tone Analyzer and the output. Right, that's what we want to do. Ooh, we lost you lost the magic touch.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Ooh, there it is. So does that make sense, Joyce? So Tone Analyzer comes back with a bunch of things. We want to set the message.payload to the response.
Yeah, this is the equivalent to in Postman. We have the pre-request script and then the post-request script or the test tabs. So this is just parsing it to go into the Tone Analyzer and then parsing it to be outputted, to be returned by the server. So from Tone Analyzer, we have this entire potentially object, and we need to return this, like maybe, what do you want to return?
Let's go with response, but we don't want to return. We want to set the message.payload to the response, and the HTTP node will automatically pass that down to Postman, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so that's correct. And then in here, we want to go .response.
The whole thing?
We are sending everything back for now, just to test it out, and then we can send back whatever you want.
Okay.
And deploy.
Oh, right.
And let's go back
here. I will comment this because it makes me nervous. How do you comment out on Windows? Control. Okay.
Control. Oh, there you go.
Woo.
So something came back.
Pretty.
Right, so this is maybe better than going like toggling the little squigglies.
Okay.
Right, so there we go. So we're kind of getting closer to our finished solution here. So now what we can do is we can export this. We can export the flow and import it in our cloud environment so everybody can hit it.
So I'm working locally, but I'll need to import it into the thing that we were spinning up, right?
Yeah. Yes. I think it's the second tab.
I don't know.
I can imagine. Can you imagine people making like ASCII art with the nodes and actually creating secret messages? That would be pretty fun. Like the way you put your nodes into.
I can't even draw like a circle. I'm having trouble drawing anything.
Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah, there we go. It's beautiful.
And this is the definition of spaghetti code. Yes, I know now.
Okay, so we have this. Where do we go to now?
So let's. So the other thing, Joyce, is like when you change things on the canvas, even if you move stuff, the deploy becomes available. So it thinks things have changed, even though nothing's changed. All right. So I can't figure out what the emoji is in the
Hi, Sneebo.
in the chat.
It's laughing robot face.
Oh, Man, with COVID, it's like, is that a mask? Everything seems like a mask with COVID. All right, let's go back to IBM App Development tab. Me trying to understand the logic behind the node's placement on the canvas. Thank you, my friend. That's what I was thinking.
Arlemy, how'd you do Arlemy face thinking? Oh gosh, he's so good with the Photoshop. Okay. So
With the Photoshop.
we deployed this thing, or we created something on CloudAnt. That's the NoSQL thing to preserve our flow, and now we need to save it in here somehow.
Correct. So this is our app, right? This is sort of our app. We need to actually go see our app. There's our app. Go down. Maybe there's an app somewhere.
Do I need to refresh?
I see.
Where?
No. Go back up. Oh, Arlemy is saying it's a Twitch thing. It's not a Photoshop thing, by the way. Is there something in action? Can you click on that? I'm sounding so stupid that I don't know part of IBM
I am
Cloud.
also
But
stupid.
the cloud
Actions.
The cloud is so big, it's okay. Run locally. I don't want to run locally. Okay, can you go back to resource list?
Should I refresh it?
There. No, I think we have to go back to the resource list.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it kicked you out? Okay. All right, so let's click on the Cloud Foundry apps up top.
I've heard of Cloud Foundry before. What is it?
Yeah, so Cloud Foundry is an open source. It's a way to build and deploy apps on cloud. One way to do it is using this thing called Cloud Foundry.
Is it like a Heroku?
Sort of, yeah. Yeah, you can think of it that way. And basically, you build your apps in containers and you push it to, or they call it build packs. So you create your, you create your applications and run them on build packs, which behind the scenes are just containers, like Docker containers, and then you push it to the cloud.
Marcel confirms, yes, like Heroku.
Yeah, thank you, Marcel.
Okay.
Many commands are the same. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's true. You're like either pushing or pulling or logs, or you're only doing a certain number of things with your apps. All right, so it seems like our app is up and running. It tells us one instance, 100% of the 100% of the one instance is running, and there is a URL up on top. So let's click on that URL. Do you see next to running?
This one?
Yes. So if you click on that, it'll open takemymoney.mybluemix.net. Now, this is what people can go to. But wait, before we share that, let's set this up. So if you install locally, I don't know if you saw any of these screens, but this is like normal flow in Node-RED. When you install Node-RED, it has this sort of welcome screen. And then you click on next, it'll ask you if you want to set up username, password. Say anybody can access, so anybody in the audience can get to it. Otherwise, they have to put in.
This one?
Yeah.
This one,
yeah. No.
What? I don't understand what
this one.
Oh.
Okay, so hard like with this one. I don't know which one.
The cursor didn't light up, so I didn't realize it was clickable. You need to increase the clickable space on that one.
Well, we need to let them know on Twitter.
Do I need to confirm?
All right. Yes, it's double making sure that you really want this to be insecure. Okay.
Next.
And then next, please. Okay, yeah, next. This is just information. Finish the install. Let me try. If you paste that, takemymoney.bluemix, I can try and get to it.
Do you want me to?
By the way, that'll be so funny because that's the canvas. So.
Wait, why is this here?
Yeah, that's the landing page. So click on go to your editor, like up top. And this will take you to, so this is similar to what we've been doing locally, but this is happening on the cloud. It's giving you an example, right? So remember this is what I did. I put the inject in the debug thing. I didn't know they do this by default now. So they give you a starting point. All right, let's do this. Go back to your local. Wow, this is hurting my eyes a little bit.
Oh, sorry. I was just trying to be funny, but it's also quite...
No, I'm kidding.
Hold on.
I'm kidding. It's beautiful.
There.
It is beautiful.
You want like a little waterfall? Does that look good? I'm no designer. Ooh, it's
this
like a squiggle.
I was kidding. It looked good before.
No, it didn't.
Okay, let's click on deploy. And then let's click on the hamburger menu and let's export our node or export our flow. So this is everything. It's exporting all the flows, including the first flow we worked on, which is fine.
Okay.
Now
Oh,
you
it's
can
current flow.
clip. Oh, yes, I didn't even see that. Thank you, Joyce. So that's even better. We just want our
This
flow.
is better.
Oh, I mean, it's the same to me. Like I copy the clipboard and let's go to the cloud one. Take my money, click on the hamburger menu,
Oh, import.
import, and then we can paste from clipboard and import, and boom, it created a new flow. So that was very anticlimactic, boom, but it's there. There you go. So now it's running on the cloud, and we have our. Actually, you know what? We should have set a secure endpoint because you know what? Now, what can happen? Like if our Lemmy really wanted to be a little bit naughty, like anybody can go and change all of your flow here. But what we should have done was made this secure, and then the endpoint would still be available.
So you can pin
right
down.
now,
You can pin down like the editing, but then people can access it.
People can access the endpoint, correct? Okay. But you can lock the editing down. But it's okay for now. I think everybody's nice on this in this Twitch stream. Everything's gonna be fine.
Okay.
Hi,
Phyllis.
Hey.
All
right. All right. So let's deploy this. So now we're deploying on the cloud, right? And let's try it out. I think it should work. So if you go to takemymoney.mybluemix.net / in Postman, let's make a request here.
Somebody's going to be faster than me, I bet. Oh, wait, I'll just do it here. I should build a environment variable, but that should do, right?
Yeah, try it out. Let's see if that works.
Wait, how come it didn't return it?
Nothing came back.
I got a 200, though.
Oh. Maybe I did something wrong. Oh, there you go. It's missing the credential. Yeah. Yes. So it didn't. So Node-RED is smarter than I am, and they're like, "Hey, I'm not going to copy your credentials over to a new flow," which is nice. So double-click on the tone analyzer, and we'll have to input back our credentials here. So let's go back to the service.
So I have a question. Mm-hmm. If this is public and I'm editing it here, is that also being pushed public, or is this local?
Yeah. No, this is all on the cloud now.
So I should put my API key here?
Yeah, people already know that, right? Plus it'll show up as ... and I don't think you can copy it. But it's fine. It's fine. You can do it.
Where was it?
It was in the first tab.
Oh. All right.
I mean, everybody's seeing it right now, so it's okay.
Okay.
Everybody close your eyes.
Yeah. We do have a secret shield. Okay, so this stays the same. This stays the same.
Most likely the endpoint stays the same, but might as well copy paste it just in case.
From here?
Yes, please. Yeah, the last one, the URL. And yeah, let's try it again. You have to deploy it first.
No, not now. Okay, and then go to Postman and hit send again?
Oh, you have to deploy it first because it's not deployed yet.
I didn't hear you. Okay.
It's okay. All right, cool. Let's go back, send it.
Okay.
Yay!
Okay. It worked.
There you go. So now anybody can come. Actually, let's do one thing, Joyce, just to make it fun. Let's go back to.
Here,
let's put
post this? Oh, you want to log it to the console, don't you?
Yeah, so we can see what people are sending in, because otherwise they get to see their results. We don't get to see it.
Is somebody messing with my thing? Please hold off before I do this. Otherwise, you ruin it for everyone.
Okay, review changes.
Oh no.
All right. I don't know what happened. Okay, I think maybe this is just move something around, like move a little bit. Move like the message thing around a little bit. and then deploy again. That should overwrite. Ignore and deploy. Yeah, let's ignore. No. Yeah, there you go. I don't know what change was made, but you just overrode somebody's
Arlemy is
change.
bugged. Arlemy is moving stuff around.
Oh no! He said he made it pretty. So let's see. Arlemy, please do it again. Let's
Yeah, do it again.
let's see what he's doing. Do it
Wait,
again,
can we
and
see him moving it real time?
No, I don't think that's possible. Not pretty for him.
Arlemy, go ahead. We're waiting for you. Everyone's waiting for you, Arlemy.
What time
okay,
is
here we
it there?
go. Review changes, I guess you have to.
Yeah, I've never done this, so let's see. Let's review changes.
Merge?
Sure.
I don't care. Oh.
Go back. Wow. Wow.
Oh.
Are you a designer? Secret designer?
Arlemy does have Photoshop skills.
That's awesome.
Okay, so we have the whole workflow here now, where if you just joined us, we have one workflow called Tony Loke, where it's an input, HTTP input, get request, and then we will futz with that information and prepare it so that it can be fed through the Tony Analyzer. And then the response back from Tony Analyzer, we're going to futz with that again, and then output it back if everything goes okay. And we have this logging to the console right now. Upkar, where did you want to log other stuff?
Yeah, I think from the tone analyzer, if you put another debug in the tone analyzer, we can see what people are sending in.
Okay, so I'm...
And yeah, and then let's go there, and then let's only output. So click on that, message, and then let's go like message.response or something. Remember, it was message.response. Let's do that for now. And I don't know if you want to change the tone analyzer to dominant tone, so then you don't have to go tap, like, you know, so it only shows the first one.
Oh,
there you
I
go.
didn't
And
hit
no.
save. Oh, it saved it anyways, okay.
Nope, go back. I think you have to click. You might, because the done is still red.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh.
There you go. Okay, so now click on deploy. I guess you did it right the first time.
Deploy. So now people can go.
All right,
to this
let's
thing
see.
Here. Let me drop a link.
Yeah, let's put.
It's this.
That one / input.
Send.
I'm gonna try it too.
In the params foo. Let's. Okay, we'll show you what. Oh wait, people are doing stuff. Something bad is happening. Undefined.
Message.payload undefined, property message.payload. Can you go to let's look at our function. We did something wrong in the function. Where? Or in the one before, the set. We're setting message.payload to message.payload.foo. Yeah, so people have to send foo.
Okay, so
otherwise it's going to give error.
This is the, you should be sending it to that input, but you should put foo as the key and then say, oh, does it know emojis, I wonder?
That's a good question.
Anger. Oh, okay, yeah, it's joy. Maybe if I just go like this.
And yeah, you have to send, oh, thank you, Joyce. I didn't see that message. You're so nice. Score
does
1.
Does it understand frowny face?
I think it does.
Sadness. Ooh, it's pretty. What is it? Oh, there is. Sorry, Arlemy. Arlemy's like, I want to see my funny. So I have to expand all of these?
Unfortunately, yes. Wait, what is the document tones? 0. Let's put that in there. Well, we also want the message.
Where's the message?
Yeah. So let's go, because we didn't. Oh man. Let's go back to the message, and put another debug.
Oh,
or actually, we can do multiple. Can we not?
Yeah.
So if you, I love that you just.
I know. I'm sorry. Okay.
It's like that never happened. Okay, can you double click there?
Oh God, yeah.
And then yeah, click on the little message dot. Complete message object. Oh, I thought we could do multiple outputs. Okay, in here we can do message.payload. Wait, no, let's do expression.
Okay. Are we writing
So let's do
code?
expression. Well, yeah, I'm afraid like if we want to send everything at the same
Okay,
time.
I haven't done this one before. How do I do it?
So yeah, click. I think you click on the three dots to get like another. There you go. And in here, ooh, I have not done this before either. Returns the absolute value of a number. I just want to format expression. JSON. Ooh, maybe this was a bad thing. Okay, wait. No, I want to do. I want to concatenate. Is there a concatenate?
Arlemy and Marcel, if you're there, y'all have Node-RED experience. How do we output both the message as well as the dominant tone?
Yeah. So like one way to do that would be just use a function, but I don't want to. Maybe we do format string format with change. Okay. Yeah. No, but how do you output? Oh, actually, you can add several changes in the same node. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do what Arlemy is telling us. That's one way to do it. And then we can, okay, let's do that. Can you cancel? And then let's put another change.
Wait, what time does this stream end? I was having so
I
much fun dragging and dropping that I think we're like, okay, let's wrap it up. I'm sorry. No pressure. Let's wrap it up. Let's output stuff. I'm sorry.
So I was wondering the same thing, but then I'm like, maybe this is normal. Like you just go for maybe, all day and we'll be sitting here all night. And I
Well,
wasn't sure how this
what
works.
made me look at the clock? I've already told you, and this is TMI, but we're having like bathroom
Yeah.
issues, and Arlemy told me to pee in a bowl, but it's getting urgent real soon. So this is very relevant to the stream. But Upkar, what did you want me to do? Add another change set?
So maybe I'll start speaking slowly.
No. I want people to see their messages.
Yeah, let's put a change in. Let's put a change in the middle of the tone. Yeah, right there. And then in there, let's set message dot foo.
Okay, this is going to be the string that's sent in.
Yeah, so let's change the payload, right? Let's change the payload to some, or maybe it's message dot also set message dot payload dot. No, up top. I'm wondering if we can do that. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get everything into message.payload. So let's set message.payload dot foo to message.foo and then add another one. So add at the bottom, there's an add button and set message.payload dot tone or dot response or whatever.
Was it response?
Or tone, let's say tone. Well, this is what you're setting it to, and the second thing is what you're setting it from. So this is message.document_tone, right? Document_tone, dot tones, right? That's the next thing. Of 0, because that's an array, so we want to get the 0th element. Dot tone_name.
Do you know that, or are you looking at something? Oh, right here.
No, yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, so now we're constructing new payload, and that's what gets outputted. So let's click on done, see if this works.
Is that first one supposed to be just foo though?
Oh, sorry, message.payload. Payload. Remember, I think payload has the actual string. No, just string, just payload.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's it. So click on done and click on deploy. And then let's use the recycle bin to clear our debug thing. You see the right? Yeah.
Recycle, that's
there.
Trash.
Yes.
Arlemy saying it's not linked to the right output. Marcel saying, I don't think we had that change. Oh, something's coming in.
No, but okay, so not linked to the right output, but fine to debug.
Joy?
Not linked to the right.
I love these streams.
I love these streams. What's the tone on that?
Joy. Whoa. It's moving too fast. 0.96.
Oh, nice.
Let's see what this one is. Do I have to click the... Oh, good evening from the UK. Top of the morning. Where's the... Where's the tone?
Yeah, we're doing
There's
something
an
wrong here.
okay, error. Underscore
How
tone.
how
Document
how?
under
Oh,
Snebo.
message dot response. Oh, I see. So we did the set wrong. So message dot response dot document. Yeah.
Here?
Yes, I think that's what he's saying.
Eagle
There
eye
you go.
Snebo. Try it again. Try it again. Wait, let me clear it. Let me clear the recycling.
Recycling. Are you making fun of me?
Yeah, it's trash. You're Canadian, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, stuff is coming in. Okay, what should I'll start at the top. First in, first out.
I still
Oh, that's
see.
old.
I still see though an error, right? Cannot set property of non-object type payload dot foo. Payload dot foo. Can you go back there? Yeah. Does message dot payload not? Is the other one nothing? None of this is working, right? Let's set message dot. Let's just do message dot payload and message dot tone. I think it might be that these things don't exist.
Okay.
And then at the bottom say message dot tone.
Wait, we're just setting
I don't know.
payload to payload.
Yeah, so let's oh you leave that do the second one, message dot tone. I'm wondering if we have to see what's coming back.
Like this?
Yeah. And then click on let's done. So why isn't it working? Like what's the problem? Cannot set property of non-object type payload.foo. I think it's because payload.foo doesn't exist. But if you go down now,
Like to this one?
oh, in the output, Joyce, in the green output, the message.response.
Wait, something's coming in. Sorry, it's so
Well,
exciting.
it won't show because if you go to the response itself,
This one?
like yeah, let's output the complete message because now we're doing let's output the complete message. Done. All right, deploy. I'm gonna send something.
It's so exciting when people send us messages in this console.
Go all the way down.
I think it's down. When did this send? What time is it? Oh, something came in. What? Something came in. Okay, guys, slow down, slow down. How does that sound? Does it make you angry?
And tone is joy. Look at the tone at the.
Oh.
You don't have to do that.
Oh,
You don't have to do
yeah.
that. So go to the next one.
Why would
the
that
next
be
one.
joy?
I'm trying to figure that out too. So what's the payload here? I'm feeling good today. And what's wait, where's the tone? There's no tone in this case.
Why are these different outputs?
Oh, because hey, Joyce, I got it. Look on top in your canvas. There's a second message. Disable that. Click on the little.
This one.
Yeah, and hold on the right, you see the little thingy like pointing out. No, on the green node itself.
Yeah.
There's a tail, right? Yeah, click on that. There. So now it's disabled.
Oh, deploy.
Yeah. So there you go. And recycle it. Recycle your view.
Recycle it.
See, that's better. I like recycle.
Send me something. Just one, please. Oh, okay, enough. Let's see.
Okay.
Joy.
Joy.
Joy. Somebody sent something angry. Oh, I
Oh.
well, that's not very subtle.
You can't handle the truth.
Wow, confidence. That's so neat.
Wait, let me send something.
Send something that might be like a little questionable. Or disgust. I haven't seen disgust yet. Too much joy. Oh. Anger. Well, this is an open source. Actually, that's Arlamy.
I just sent something.
Huh? That's still joy.
Because I said this was amazing.
Amazing.
I'm happy.
Happy, sad, grr. Like, so I would drill down into how. Oh, is this? No, that's a message ID. Like, I want to know the confidence too.
Yeah. So we're just outputting the tone, not the confidence, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Somebody's asking a question about rate limit. Not sure if that's, you know,
That's your rate limit.
because we're
So
sending a
yeah,
lot of calls.
yeah. So I mean, with the API, I mean, we can set the rate limit here, right? We can use, there's so many ways you can do that. But the API, API itself has like in the free tier, remember it said 2,500 calls in the free tier. So all of these calls were being counted.
So somebody could be like naughty and like script something to like DDoS us, and then I'd hit the rate limit, and then nobody would be able to tone analyze anything, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait, does it understand GR? I'm curious.
I don't understand why sometimes it shows the tone there and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. We'll have to debug another time.
See?
Oh,
No.
I know. Damn it. Sorry.
Is it
I
not
know.
dominant?
No, the change. Wait. Well, first of all, we have two things. Like we are doing the change and we're doing the set payload, and the set payload is going to the HTTP thing, and change is going to the debug. So what you see in Postman will be different than what we are seeing here, which is fine. But I think that's what was happening. Maybe no dominant tone. Yeah, we're using the dominant tone, not all tones. But I think that's because we didn't want to see a big output. But anyways, I think I would call this a success.
I would call this a success too. I feel like there's the ability to write a ton of code if we want. And some people I know have trouble parsing objects. So that might be like a little bit of experimentation with this debug output.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, here's one more thing we can try, which is kind of fun. So go back to the your palette. By the way, I'm like ignoring all of my IBM meetings and everything. I'm just on.
no,
I'm sure somebody's looking for me somewhere. So go all the way down, and they look for something called dashboard. It might not be there. Ooh, it's not there. Let's install. Go to manage palette, like in the hamburger menu on the top right, and install dashboard. So yeah, dashboard. Yeah, Node-RED dashboard, the second one, install that and say yes, install.
I'm on the cloud one, that's okay?
Yeah, it's fine, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Arlemy says, great success. Thumbs up.
Yeah, I just got a message saying, hello, I saw an invite for now. Are we still meeting? Question mark.
Okay, you know what? I actually think that we're good. Let's just wrap it up. I think that was really, let me put it back on here. Let's go side by side. Are there any last kind of shout outs that you want to give? Upkar, thank you so much for coming on the stream. How can we stay in touch with you? Where can we see you in the future, and maybe drop a link to your IBM Cloud again?
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Let me send you a couple. So I'm on, you can find me on Twitter for most part. Let's see, where is...
The Twitter's on the screen.
Oh, it is? Okay, perfect. Also happy to get emails.
You're putting your email there?
Yeah, everybody knows my email.
Okay.
Everybody knows my phone number. Everybody knows where I live, basically.
Put your phone number there. Put your cross streets. Just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'll put a pin. What else? Yeah. So, but here's the IBM link. If you want to sign up and play with this. Yeah, ask questions. So the cool thing with this is like I said, the creator and founder of Node-RED works at IBM. It's easy to get hold of him. But that being said, so this is the IBM sign up. And the other cool one is Node-RED community. So Node-RED, they have a Slack channel, and you can ask whatever questions you want there. And they're very helpful. And the founder, Nick, always is there answering questions. Like his full-time job at IBM is taking care of this amazing, amazing open source project. Let me see, there's a forum.
And Node-RED isn't like your primary I guess, focus. I feel like the last time we talked, you were talking about serverless. There's a bunch of other open source projects that I think you get involved on, and you do workshops on a bunch of different things. So, what's your wheelhouse in terms of things that we should reach out to you about?
Yeah, anything like containers, serverless, cloud native. Also, I've done some machine learning in the past. So yeah, I kind of I kind of jump all over the place. But anything tech related. So for example, yesterday somebody was like, "Hey, this Django project is not working. Can you help me?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." I've not touched Django in like 10 years. So yeah, really. Hey, anything. You want to talk over a coffee, over a beer, virtual beer, more than happy just to chit chat. But I put in some links. Thank you so much, Joyce. It was lovely to be on this Twitch stream.
Yeah.
This is actually my second Twitch stream in my life. So that's awesome.
Well, I think we got something done. We didn't run into too many issues, and nobody hacked into our, except for Arlemy. No one else hacked into our project, so I think this was a success. So thank you so much for being on this stream, and maybe we can have you again to talk about serverless or something in the future.
Sure, more than happy to. Thank you so much.
Okay, that's all we have today. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone. you.